Module 11, the respiratory and circulatory systems in an earthworm. Let's now take another look at the diagram of an earthworm's body. Not only do earthworms have a complete digestive system, they also have a full circulatory system. A circulatory system is a system designed to transport food and other necessary substances throughout a creature's body. A circulatory system is made up of lots of vessels that carry blood around the body. The blood transports nutrients and important gases such as oxygen to all the body's areas. Now, though the earthworms have a complete circulatory system, they do not have a heart. They have two major blood vessels, one located along the back called the dorsal blood vessel, and one located along the underside called a ventral blood vessel. These two major vessels are connected to each other by a series of smaller vessels called aortic arches. The arches are quite muscular and contract to pump the blood through the ventral vessel. As it moves along, the blood picks up nutrients from the vessels that are a part of the intestine. It then branches off to smaller and smaller vessels, moving throughout the earthworm's body, bringing those nutrients to all the cells and picking up any wastes the cells have produced. It deposits those wastes into the vessels connected to the intestine so they can be removed out of the body. Next, the dorsal blood vessel collects the blood from the parts of the body and moves it back to the aortic arches to start the journey again. Now, the blood also transports gases to and from the cells. The earthworm has a thin skin, or epidermis, so oxygen can diffuse directly through it. As the blood vessels pass along the epidermis, oxygen will be absorbed into the blood and taken to the cells in the body. The cells will deposit carbon dioxide into the blood, which will diffuse back out to the air when the blood passes by the epidermis again. So we can say that an earthworm breathes through its skin. But its skin has to be moist in order for the gases to move through it. Therefore, earthworms have a wet outer layer called a cuticle. If this cuticle dries out, the earthworm can no longer breathe. That's why they do not like to be in the sun. They could dry up. But earthworms also cannot breathe if the area is too wet. For example, if it rains too much, the soil will get soaked with water and there will be no air for the worm to take in gases. That's why after a rainstorm, you may see lots of earthworms on the sidewalk. They're moving up out of the soil so they can breathe. But if they find themselves on the sidewalk, they risk losing their way and not being able to burrow back into the soil once it stops raining. Then they could face suffocation by drying up again. An earthworm does not have eyes to see if it is raining, but it does have a complex nervous system. A nervous system is a system of sensitive cells that respond to stimuli such as sound, touch, and taste. And an earthworm's nervous system is controlled by two small brain-like bunches of nerve cells called ganglia. Ganglia help to control the responses that an earthworm has to various stimuli. There's a long ventral nerve cord along the bottom of their body, and it connects to a small bunch of nerve cells, or ganglia, at each segment. The nerves come out of each ganglion and sense touch, light, and chemicals.